Good day, I am Kyla May Silene Rabulan from BSHM 1104, and for today I am going to make an educational video on how to eliminate risk or hazard on hospitality industry. But first, let us know what is hazard. Hazard is a potential source of harm. When we refer to hazards in relation to occupational safety and health, the most commonly used definition is a hazard is a potential source of harm or adverse health effect on a person or persons. The terms hazard and risk are often used interchangeably, but this simple example explains the difference between the two. If there was a spill of water in a room, then that water would present a slipping hazard to persons passing through it. If access to that area was prevented by a physical barrier, then the hazard would remain through the risk would be minimized. And what is risk? When we refer to risk in relation to occupational safety and health, the most commonly used definition is risk is the likelihood that a person may be harmed or suffers adverse health effects if exposed to a hazard. So I made an infographic here. So the first one is fire safety. Make sure your kitchen is protected by the hazard by ensuring the right precautions and our kitchen is equipped with the proper fire prevention equipment. So here are the 5 fire safety tips. Number 1, check all the smoke and fire alarms are functioning properly. Number 2, have an actionable fire plan. Number 3, never leave a room with an open flame. Number 4, have at least one fire extinguisher. Number 5, embrace the cliche, stop, drop, and roll. Number 2 is safeguard sharp objects. Example is cuts. Knives are involved in many incidents in the hospitality industry, especially among chefs and cooks. Injuries range from minor cuts to loss of fingers. So here are the preventions. Number 1, use a flat surface or cutting board. Use the right knife for the job and make sure it is sharp. Number 3, hold the knife securely with your stronger hand. Curl the fingers of your other hand over the object to be cut. Cut away from your body when cutting, trimming, or deboning. And the last, wear protective equipment such as cut-resistant gloves if necessary. Number 3 is electrical hazard. Always ensure that the electrical appliances are functioning properly. Number 4 is washing your hands. It is very important to wash our hands frequently when we are preparing food. So here are the hazards that are actually happening at workplace. So number 1 is burns. About 14% of incidents in restaurants results in burns and scalds. The most common causes are spilling or splashing of hot liquids and contact with hot surface. So here are the prevention. Reduce the risk of burns and scalds by following dry items thoroughly before using them with hot oil. Lower food and utensils slowly into hot oil. Make sure the handles of pots and pans do not stick out from counters or stoves. Use oven mitts or dry clothes when handling hot objects. Open lids away from you to allow steam to escape. So the second one is slippery floors. Slippery surfaces are one of the major causes of slips and falls in the hospitality industry. So here are the preventions. Number 1, use non-slip footwear. Keep floors free of water and grease. Clean floors regularly. Clean up spills immediately. Post warning signs around spills or wet floors. Install non-slip floor products. Use rubber mats in areas where the floors are constantly wet. Use slips-resistant waxes to polish and treat floors. So my last example is cuts. Knives are involved in many incidents in the hospitality industry, especially among chefs and cooks. Injuries range from minor cuts to loss of fingers. So here are the preventions. Number 1, use a flat surface or cutting board. Use the right knife for the job and make sure it is sharp. Number 3, hold the knife securely with your stronger hand. Curl the fingers of your other hand over the object to be cut. Cut away from your body when cutting, trimming, or deboning. And the last, wear protective equipment such as cut-resistant gloves if necessary. So let me discuss what is PPE. So PPE is equipment or clothing by a worker to prevent or minimize the exposure to specific hazards. So the examples of PPE are respirators, gloves, as well as head, eye, and foot protection. For the hand, there are 4 types of PPE. Number 1 is chemical-resistant gloves. So it is used when cleaning or handling chemicals. Number 2, work gloves. Handling garbage, landscaping, or working in storage areas. So number 3, disposable waterproof gloves. So it is used when cleaning blood and other body fluids. And the last one is the cut-resistant gloves. So it is used when cutting and equipment cleaning operations. So for the type of PPE in fit, there are 3 types of it. So the number 1 is non-slip footwear. It is used when working in and around kitchens. So the number 2 is steel-toed boots. So it is used when operating landscaping equipment. So the last one is the footwear with ankle support. So it is used when we are working outdoors. So for the eyes, there are 2 types of PPE. So the first one is safety glasses. It is used for general eye protection. And the second one is the safety goggles and face shield. It is used for working with chemicals that may splash. So I believe orientations are important for preventing work-related incidents. They provide an opportunity for the employer to establish health and safety guidelines before a worker starts a new job. Health and safety education is an ongoing process. Provide instructions to workers whenever there are changes in the workplace, such as a new work process or piece of equipment. In orientation, this is also includes, so explain that the worker should not perform any task that the worker is not trained to do safely. So it is very important that the worker will have a training first before going to work. So the second one is encourage the worker to ask questions whenever the worker is unsure of anything. So it is very important to ask somebody for help if you don't know on how to do it. So the last one is introduce the worker to the representative or a member of the OHC. So it is very important to be familiarized on your co-workers. In addition to that, the worker must know that potential workplace hazards such as hazardous materials or equipments, worker rights, responsibilities, and restrictions, how to report potential hazards and unsafe work conditions, how to get first aid, and how to report injuries and other incidents. And the last one, locations of emergency exits, fire extinguishers, and first aid kits, as well as procedures for rescue and evacuation. So by eliminating the risk or hazard in the workplace, we must be familiarized before working in the workplace. So having the PPE is very important for us because if we have encounter some hazards, we are going through it very well. So that's all, and thank you for watching.